At dawn on December 25, 1899, one of the caretakers of the Santa Luzia shelter was walking the corridors to wake up the little ones for the Christmas breakfast. The silhouettes under the blankets of 3 beds did not move at her call. When she approached to wake them up, annoyed by such laziness, she realized that it was impossible for them to react, as they were lifeless. The sheets under the children were stained by a large and thick bloodstain. The throats of the young people had been cut with the abrupt movement of an inexperienced executioner, but with his determination. The victims were 2 teenagers aged 13 and another aged 15. The alert was given among all the shelter's employees, trying to prevent the inmates from learning of the terrible news. A detailed inspection was carried out in every corner of the old building. Beds were lifted, cabinets and all the children's belongings were searched. 2 days later they found the supposed culprit, who still kept the bloody razor under her worn mattress. Her name was Thomasina Quarles, and, against all expectations, Thomasina made no effort to deny her crime. She admitted to being the author of the cold-blooded murder of the boys. When they were sleeping peacefully in their beds, Thomasina, only 9 years old, got up during the night and sneaked into the children's room. The 3 slept in the same room, so it was not a big problem to dispatch them in a matter of minutes. In the room where Thomasina committed the crime, 7 other children slept. This gives reason to think that it was not a random crime, but rather an act of revenge. In the unfortunate history of the orphanage, there have been other orphans who ended up taking the life of a colleague. But most of them had no more reason than pure evil and perversity. The environments of these places are magnets for unbalanced minds and immune to any kind of goodness. But Thomasina Quarles' case suggested a darker complexity, and this could be noticed on the nervous and restless faces of those present. Starting with the girl's history, she arrived at 3 years old along with her twin brother Oscar. Little was known about their parents, who lived in the slums of Ireland, and the children were rescued from a dark and smelly alley. Thomasina never showed aggressive behavior. She was more of a quiet type that gave little reason for complaints to those responsible for the orphanage. However, everyone in the room looked at her as if they were afraid of her, and looked at each other as if they were waiting for someone to dare to ask the inevitable question. The director, due to the nature of her position, felt compelled to confront her. "Thomasina, why did you do this?" The girl, without changing her expression of unusual complacency, replied, "I think you know why. They killed my brother." The tension before the chilling suspicion turned fear into confirmation. 5 years ago, on the shores of a lake bordering orphanage property, one of those grotesque tragedies occurred. 3 boys were playing with little Oscar and took him near the lake without anyone noticing. At some point something twisted in boys' minds, who forgot about playing for fun and started torturing little one. They dunked his head in water for several minutes, then pulled it out again. Little Oscar's panic filled them with distorted pleasure. They didn't evaluate the consequences of their game until one-time boy stopped fighting back. His hands floated inertly in water, and he didn't react anymore. They had drowned him. The boys came scared and crying to the director, saying they were just playing, but something went wrong. The shelter authorities did what they could to bury Oscar without causing a stir. The punishment the young people received was more symbolic than fair, and the matter was forgotten over time. How did his sister find out 5 years later? That's what left them perplexed. Thomasina told them that when she went for a walk near the water, she always saw the reflection of her brother, or rather, the last moments of his life. And consequently, it was not only that, she also saw reflected the 3 ecstatic boys dunking his head in the water. That's how she knew the truth. Her brother had not disappeared as they had told her. The director and the Sisters of Charity were dismayed and full of fear. After much thought, they decided to transfer Thomasina Quarles to a different reception center. First, because deep down, they thought that justice, although twisted and terrible, somehow was done, and second, to have her as far away from them as possible. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share this video with those who like supernatural stories.